On July the 10th, when you guys were preparing, when the agenda committee was preparing the items to be placed on the agenda, I felt that my rights were violated as an elected official. Being said, I wanted to add 2 items as closed session. I was placed on a call at 12:57, and I'm reading it because nobody responded to my email, not even you, Ms. Heffernan. And you wanted to know what items I was placing on the agenda as closed session. And I was caught, like, what's going on? Why am I being questioned? What I want to put in closed session. The other thing, I don't know, this has been happening in the past. There was a non-board member at the agenda meeting when I gave confidential information for closed session. I don't think that is correct. And I don't know, Mr. Rivera, if I disclose the closed session item, Mr. Pimentel was present at that meeting. I was called and put on a speaker, and I was asked to say what I wanted on the closed session. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's what happened.
And is that right to have a non-board member and hear what I wanted to put in closed session? Is that right?
I don't believe that was correct.
Okay.
And I take full responsibility for that.
Wait just a
At the
minute.
Wait a
meeting,
minute, let me finish.
Well, I have the floor and
I take full responsibility for that. It didn't come into my attention that you're correct, that you're disclosing something that's confidential. And Mr. Pimentel was present, and historically, he knows it was my mistake, not to take the call privately. So I take full responsibility for that. The point that I do want to make is that it was only the topic that was discussed and no other discussion was held. But I do take responsibility for that. I should not have let that occur. I should have stepped outside and taken your comments and then brought them back to work. You're correct. If that comes up again in the future, Mr. Pimentel is going to be asked to step outside and so forth.
And thank you, because I wanted clarification, because I sent this email to the whole board and nobody responded. So for the future, if that could be avoided and not put a board member on the spot, probably during my work hours, and I didn't know what was going on. For the future, please.
just to mention something, no, at the meeting, Mr. Rivera, you told us that there wasn't anything wrong with it. Because it's just a topic,
Right.
Nothing was discussed.
But
So
theoretically,
it wasn't wrong.
theoretically.
The other thing is that I believe Mr. Birkin gave you direction to answer that email. And it wasn't answered.
I answered it, I called Ms. Armendariz and I told her it was my responsibility, it was my fault, and that I apologize and it wouldn't happen again in the future.
Well, on the meeting also you said that we were going to send an email to all of us.
Well, I have the email, I just didn't send it out.
And you did call me, Mr. Rivera, thank you very much. I just felt that I was treated wrong, questioned what I want to put on an agenda item as closed session, and it's not been the first time, just for the record.
But it's
For the
not-
record, I
it's-
just want to say that Mr. Rivera, you were sitting right there and you said, I cannot believe that you're saying what you're saying. Because you know what? This is not right. You sat right there and you said, when Ms. Armendariz asked that question, you said, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. And you turned around and looked at Tony, and there's nothing wrong with it because it wasn't discussed. It's just a subject. So there's nothing wrong with it. And now you're sitting here and you're saying something completely different, which is not correct.
Well, I disagree with you.
Well, I do too.
I specifically
So let's move on,
said-
and because we're out of order right now, we're gonna continue with the consent calendar.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to, where are we at, to approve the agenda? First by Mr. Valdez. Second. Second by me. All those in favor? Signify by saying aye. Okay. Public comment time on items not appearing on the agenda will be limited to 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per subject. The board may find it necessary to limit the total time allowable for all public comments on items not appearing on the agenda at any one meeting to 1 hour. Persons desiring longer public comment time and or action on a specific item shall contact the secretary and request that the item be placed on the agenda for the next regular meeting. Does anybody here wish to speak and state your name and?
Jesus Solano, 426 Old Front. I just want to bring this to attention, and I want to go on record, okay? I have the highly most respect for Mr. Rivera. In the past meetings, he's mentioned, that you are autonomous and independent. I believe that, yes, you are, okay? But there's a limit to it. You guys need, as a board member, you need to be realistic what's coming down the pipeline, okay? The previous meeting that we had was IVHD, they petitioned to LAFCO to dissolve, okay, on the 25th, Heffernan. So you need to be realistic on that date, okay? On the 25th, we're going to LAFCO. We are going to demand the same request. Most likely, it's going to go through. So I'm just letting you guys know, this board and the public, okay, and I'm going on record, okay? To proceed with normal procedures that pertain to administrative actions, okay? But not go beyond the limitations, because remember, right now, you're covered, whatever you do to a certain degree, based on the funding of the taxpayers. Remember that. Once you are dissolved, you guys do not have any immunity. Anything that comes against you guys in a penalty, criminal, you guys are not going to have the piggy bank of collection. And if you're going to be requiring Mr. Rivera, some other attorney, you guys are going to be paying out of your pocket. So you got a lot of topics here in the agenda, you better be careful. Okay, I would recommend you guys to pull some of these items. And you need to be realistic. On the 25th of LAFCO, that's it for you guys. Be realistic.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else wish to support? Moving on. Consent calendar. Any member of the board, staff, or public may request that the items for the consent calendar be removed for discussion. Items so removed shall be acted upon separately immediately following approval of items remaining in the consent calendar. A, approve minutes for June 12, regular meeting, June 14, June 18, and June 24. Do I have a motion to approve?
I have discussion, please.
Okay.
The minutes for June the 14th are not correct. I believe you were absent, Ms. Heffernan? Yes. Mr. Ureña was absent, and I believe you were absent. We can make a correction to that.
Sure. Brenda?
I got it.
You got it? With that being said, is there anything else that you?
Hold on. On the 14th, you were on the phone.
Online. So that's true.
Yes, but not.
It says via online. That's what it says.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see
And
that.
then Raul was absent.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
So,
Are they right?
yeah, they're right. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
So moved by Mr. Ureña. Second? Second by Mr. Valdez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Treasury report for June 6th.
I have discussion on June 6th, treasurer's report.
Go ahead. Color two.
There is an item here for May the 9th for Chase credit card for $668. In that Chase credit card, there is a meal on April the 20th, April the 25th to Brasso's Italian restaurant for $109, which Mr. Valdez, Mr. Pimentel, Mr. Tomas gifted, and Ms. Bernal attended. This is, Ivy Health District.
Yes,
Why are we paying meals for that?
because when we go to a meeting, we can get reimbursed for meals.
I don't think that is correct.
It's done.
You get meals to do agenda meetings, and you get meals to do after board meetings. You guys decide upon yourself to go eat, but this is a meeting to the Imperial Valley Health District. I will say it's not allowed, but I don't think it's correct.
It is allowed.
That's all my comment.
So Alexis, you have comment?
Yeah, I do want to add for that one, July 6th. Why all of a sudden we started asking for reimbursement mileage to attend the meetings for IVH?
Started asking for that because it's okay to do it. We have never done it, but now the meetings were being held in, going to El Centro, and we're having quite a few meetings. And that's also can do, you can ask for mileage. That's not, we're not doing something that.
So for me, it seems honestly, because it's consecutive, that we're just trying to get every penny that we can out of it. Because even if it's $28, you're going all the way back to getting reimbursement for February, the month of February mileage. So February, March, April, so why all of a sudden ask for reimbursement mileage?
And why not?
You're entitled to.
And why not? You're entitled to.
Get mileage.
We've never done it, we haven't done it before.
So you get a monthly check, so, it's not enough, you just, like, we gotta ask for, like, additional funding mileage. For me, if I wanna attend a meeting, it's optional, you know, like, if it's my cost or not, you know, it's
Well,
my cost.
That's your
But to
prerogative.
just get reimbursement,
That's,
or,
you can do
like,
that if you
minimal
wanna do
things?
that, because apparently you guys never go to the IVHD meetings.
Oh, sorry,
I'm
excuse
sorry,
me,
I see them online.
Online,
Okay.
okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay, is that all your concern?
Yeah, and then, I mean, I don't know if that needed to be approved by a whole board, approving, a check for mileage reimbursement all the way to February.
Mr. Rivera, is it okay to ask for mileage or not? Thank you. Moving on, do I have,
Sorry, can I just,
Sure. there's somebody that has. a
sorry,
question.
so I was here on the June 14th meeting, and Ms. Armendariz brought up that I believe you were telephonic. To my knowledge, this is not streamed. So to the extent that any of your actions were recorded, I would respectfully ask that you do not record that in the minutes.
Thank you so much for that comment. Okay. Do I have a motion? The motion on the floor to approve the meeting?
For June 6th and July 29th.
Do I have a second? I second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
No.
Passed. Report on meetings and events attended by directors and authorization for directors' attendance at upcoming meetings and events. Director comments. Brief report by directors on meetings and events attended, schedule of upcoming board meetings and events. So Mendez, we'll start with you.
The only thing I saw was, and I don't know if this is considered a report, I did see via Zoom the health district meeting. And I will continue seeing these meetings via Zoom, that's my choice, and that's all I have.
So thank you. Mr. Valdez?
I just have a comment on statement made on public by a public member. It was said that the Calexico Fire Department has a 501c designation. That's not true. Calexico Fire Department is not always have to expose the slides because even some members of this board believe that the fire department has a problem with the information.
Thank you.
Could I respond to that comment because it was me?
No,
A member of the public.
No, but I did, okay.
No, we're having reports right now.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes, I attended the press conference that IBHP made. And I do want to bring to a comment that as a board, we had agreed a couple months back, and even recently, that every statement that was going to be presented out, was going to have the approval of this board. Is that correct? Does everybody agree that we made that any press statement was going to have the approval of the board before we made it out? Okay. Well, Ms. Verdad, you made a statement. I don't know whose approval you had from the board or who else did you discuss with the board, but that statement that you made for IBHD, I believe that the whole board was not aware that you were going to present that statement, or it wasn't even brought up to our attention that you were going to make that statement. So I do believe that we had mentioned it, and I can even go back to try and find where we had mentioned it, that we were all going to agree to what was presented to the press or any outside media, so we can all be in approval. But I just want to reiterate that statement that you made, or that letter that you had and you read, probably it was just you and another board member that agreed to that, but I believe that, the whole board was not, did not agree, or was even acknowledged that was going to be presented.
You can believe what you want to believe, Mrs. Sanchez. Is there any more? I have no comments, and so we'll move on. Reports by all age committees. We haven't met. Comments by.
Ms. Padron, you guys haven't met for the marketing or for the town hall meeting? You guys haven't met, or for the
We discussed it,
advertisement?
we discussed it, not this month, but last month. Yeah.
We need to follow through because we requested that to happen.
Yeah.
To give a newsletter out to the public, because the last newsletter we have on our website is in 2021, and we're in 2024. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Pimentel?
Yes, welcome everybody. The request for the date for August 27 of 9 have been made to the city for an application. Also, there's gonna be a meeting with the acting city manager for the town hall meetings, and also for the estimate for the newsletter. That one in the past has been organized by the city manager, and then we provide the newsletter, and they send it to the company that provide the water billing, and they include that newsletter into that bill, and that's how they reach to all the people in Calexico that they get the bill.
Do you have a date, Mr. Pimentel?
No,
You don't have a date?
he's gonna get me back when he has an estimate from the company. In the past was around 16 or 1700 for every time that we send the newsletter to them.
I don't think we've been asking for this in the past.
Yeah, but
17 months.
he
So-
hasn't responded yet. So
the
maybe,
town hall meeting, you don't know,
yeah,
Didn't
27 or 29, we get him those 2 days, and then,
of August?
yeah.
There really doesn't seem we're moving forward on what we have requested.
What is that?
Well, that's,
I mean, we requested this some time ago, and I don't know what is delayed at, because if you can't get a hold of the city manager, obviously you have a city council also that you could approach.
I'm following the protocol through the city manager. I went to the city and everything, and I filled the form and everything, and also requested the meeting with the city manager for the newsletter too. And also the press conference is available in the website for Heffernan, so everybody can see it too.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, thank Mr. Egan, item 10.
The only update I have for you is that at the last IBHD meeting, there was a few public comments, and IBHD did move forward a resolution to resolve Heffernan sooner rather than later. They have selected a date, as Mr. One of the public members said. They did approve, they moved forward with a recommendation to LAFCO to resolve Heffernan by July 25, 2024. I just, a few hours ago, we got an email from LAFCO. I have shared that with our attorney to find out what next steps we have to do, but it was something regarding this meeting. It was too late to include it in non-emergency, but I'm sure that we'll discuss that when he's ready to share with us what that means. That's all. I'll reserve the rest of the comments
I
to
have a
that.
comment. Once you finish, I have a comment. On that meeting that I did see on Zoom, I lifted up my hand to ask a question. And they were confused that we lifted up the suspension, and they were confused about Heffernan providing clerical. You made a comment there that you said that you weren't aware what we were doing regarding that. You were in that meeting via phone. You weren't present at our meeting when we lifted up the suspension and when we said we were gonna pay our contractors from here, clerical. And you did make a comment, and I heard it wasn't a public comment. You come out saying that you weren't aware of it, that we were only 4 board members in that meeting. I believe Ms. Bernal was absent, and you were in the meeting via phone. So you made a comment that was not correct. And I lifted my hand to make a correction, and I was ignored, but I just want to make sure that the information you provided to the district was not correct.
And when it comes to that meeting, just so you know, when you raise a hand and it's not I who has control over it, the host of the meeting was the attorney for IBHD.
Yeah, no, and
I
that's
just wanted
fine.
you to
I
know.
just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify the comment that you
Yeah.
made, that was not correct.
And I'll review the video for the comment, because usually I say the same thing that I say on the comments. I don't lie on those comments. So I have no political
Well,
affiliation.
I'm not
so-
saying that you lied, I heard what I heard.
Interesting, yeah. Just like I do sometimes, we make some statements, Ms. Hernandez. So, but I will review it, and if I have to correct it, I will correct it, so I'll give you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rivera.
No comment.
Thank you. Discussion or action items. Discussion, presentation of the Sure Hotline on HNHD funded grant program.
The manager reported that the person that was supposed to be here, she got injured, and the other staff is in San Francisco in a training.
Okay, so then we'll,
Yeah, they requested to have it tabled.
okay, then we'll move on to item B, 400 Mary, update. Landscaping status, notice of completion status, occupant permit status. 1. I think the floor is for you guys.
Tony has a video, and I don't know how you wanna manage
Oh,
it,
okay.
whether there's
Yeah.
a video of the latest updates on.
Okay, let's see the video
They can talk to it.
first.
That's how the building looks today. Those are pictures for this morning. The landscaping company was working in that one. They're putting some pipes and everything right there. That's the back of the building. And that's the X-ray room that is ready. That's the south building, the front there, that is ready. That's the park building, the parking on the back. And right, the black thing that you see is where a door is supposed to be.
Is that the CT suite?
Yes. And right here, you can see the requested a shade, right? That's the only thing that is needed to get the permit, to get the council permit.
And when is that shade gonna come in?
When they gotta get the paint painted first, so they hang on to the shade.
You wanna go ahead and report on it?
Yeah, they're revalued basically at about 97%. I think, I've heard stories maybe 95%. It's basically all complete, it's the same basic thing that I told you maybe So it's kind of the same as I mentioned before, pending that scan, ordering of it, they want this report that I sent with the change order. There's different values that they want, different walls, shielded there, and an extra door. So it'll have some work in there. And also, I met with the equipment company and the doctors, and they would like a door in the back to get the machinery in. This machine is fairly good size. They told me at least 48-inch door. So I went 5-foot doors more cost. So I priced a 5-foot double door in that back area. That's why it wasn't flashing. Equipment company had to say, please not flash that wall. If you don't put a door there, they want me to start taking doors out of the company hall. That's a no-no. I really don't want to do that. You got to put a door back. Even for the future, it's just a great thing to have a door there. In case something's needed. Maybe the machinery in 4 or 5 years is outdated or something's got to change service. They've got access. So that is what we still have to do, that will remain. And right now, it looks like they shipped that door to the city 4 months to get those doors. If we order the doors right now, I would expect 4 months for the next one. The jams come in sooner. If we ordered everything, I could get the jams here much quicker than frame, frame. Then we can proceed with drywall, flooring.
I mean, we're discussing right now, landscaping, notice of completion, and I think it's that you're going into change order consideration.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
So, Mr. Valdez, I'll just comment on this item number 1. So, Jesus was with me this morning to review the stain treatment for the beams in front of the shade cloth, right? So that is an item that, well, 10, 12 days ago, I did my due diligence, as we promised Dr. Tyson at the meeting that he was at, that we would try to get a certificate of occupancy. I set up approximately 10, 12 days ago, Mr. Cortez, the city building department inspector, had a nice meeting, we reviewed everything. What he did point out is the reason he wants that shade cloth, he considers that a health and safety issue. He does not want the public to start coming into there without that installation because it will involve a scaffold, a ladder, stuff like that. So I have to work with him. We're gonna need him to get this temporary, he's calling it a temporary occupancy permit, right? Very accommodating, but that is one of the things that he is requiring. So we are within a week or so of being able to install that. That will let me then, because as far as I know, everything else that you pointed out to me has been done. So we're good on all levels. We do lack the 2 doors with the extra, but one of the things he said is when he comes back, and I bring him back, I have to bring the fire marshal. It'll be both himself and the fire marshal to give us that occupancy permit. So that's the status of that. The landscaping, it started at about 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock this morning. The trencher that you saw, they will be putting sprinkler pipe in the ground in the morning. The landscape contractor indicated to Jesus and I, that he probably is looking at 2 weeks for completion. There are some big boulders that are involved in that landscape plan. He said he does have all the plants at his shop, grounds or whatever. He's lacking, I believe he said, 1 ocotillo plant, but he should have that. So the landscape will proceed over the course of the next 2 weeks. You should see very much completion on that aspect. And I guess so of those items of number 8, that's where all of that, or number 1, that's where all of that stands.
The landscaping, I was hoping to see it start last week. you on the third, I believe, on the site where you were waiting for shop.
Right.
And you said that the landscaping people would show up.
They were there,
But they didn't.
but they didn't start work.
And then you said that they will probably show up the Thursday, the fourth,
Right.
Friday, and they will show up the next week.
So they.
Last week, they didn't show up at all.
Yeah, actually, in fact, they were there last Friday, so all of the PVC lines that you see above grade right now, they had to run a snake through it, guarantee they're all still valid because they were put in quite some time back. My indication is that they're all fine on those respects. They were there last Friday to do that, so starting today, moving forward, they will be there on a steady basis.
Is that it for the landscaping? Okay, then we'll move on to item number 2, change order request and consideration. And public bank comments for the landscaping? Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Let me just sit here and ask a question. We all know that landscapers are usually laborers, but the curious question of the community is, are prevailing wages being paid on the spot
Yes.
to the landscapers as well?
Yes, oh yeah, absolutely. It's Aaron Maury at Sun Landscape, he's in, off of, 111, out by where the, if you know, IBC area, correct? Yeah, absolutely. Aaron is probably, in terms of prevailing wage landscaping, it's got 28 men right now, including working for the state of California, out of Salt Sea, numerous other places. Aaron is, in that
I
regard.
did want to also ask, because we found it a little bit awkward that so much is being discussed with the board, but he's the manager, and so aren't these items usually discussed with the manager and then just brought with the solution to the board? Are you no longer dealing with the
My partner's been in contact.
Just thought it was just interesting that all that is to them, and so it's interesting the way that it operates.
Someone asked a good question.
No, I'm just saying that, you know, that's why things usually brought in for the projects. And so I just think it's interesting that all the landscaping and the simple item was this way. We watch a lot of this.
So moving forward, Tomas, I.
Thank you.
I don't respond to public comments, but we already had the discussion, but the board requested you to be here, that's what it is. I want to hear from you.
Okay, moving on to item 2, change order request and consideration.
Well, I guess I was on that. You know, the door, like you said, that's not part of the chambers on the south. We got a report, maybe in latter April, no, May, part of May 12th, we got the report. A couple in January, March, I mentioned to you, I was waiting for it. And I needed a report in order to go ahead and figure out what we were gonna have to do to sell it. So the report came, go through a little bit, it's gonna require moving some of the stuff that's been installed. These machines different. Gonna move wall, drywall, change it to lead shielded, gotta remove the door. We have to order an extra door, and remove it where it's already been installed. And basically, that's like change it out, remove the ceiling out, some supports, some sort of pretty heavy. And that, that's what was mentioned, March.
What happened to the specs before? Because I know when we had a walkthrough with Dr. Tyson, he mentioned that the X-ray machine will fit through the front door and the hallway and through the
Well,
door.
we met with him and he said, no, that's what the gentleman in Burke.
So X-ray and CT different. X-ray machine goes through the doors right in the building.
The X-ray machine is actually in the.
CT scan though is gonna come
Oh,
through
the
the,
CT scan, remember we
Yeah.
walked through and you said it would fit through?
there was a back door that was there, that back door that they're talking about.
No.
There was an
When
open.
we do the walkthrough, you measured, or you saw the entrance, you saw the hallway, you saw the door that was going into the CT scan, and you said the machine would
no, sir. Because it would have been impossible for me to make that statement, because I don't even know how big the CT scanner is. What I said was, in the back hall, in the CT room, okay, there was an opening, and that opening hadn't even been filled in yet, when we had that walkthrough. And I said, the CT scan will definitely fit through this area. That, the door I was referring to was the opening that was already open. It was not even constructed closed at that time. So there
And
may
that-
have been, there may be misinformation, like maybe a misunderstanding, but there's no way a CT scanner is gonna fit through the door in the hallway. No way.
I have a question. So you're talking about the CT scan room, right?
That's in the south building.
Okay, and this CT scan, can I give the amount, Mr. Rivera? $83,355 to get that done? That's the door and the frame?
Well, the LED, the chipboard that has a LED window, it's part of the project, and, the LED door, that surrounds all the entirety of the room.
So you're talking about $84,000?
Why did the LED change? I mean, we have to think.
There was, on the original contract, there was no LED in that building because we didn't have, at that time, the equipment that was gonna run. We did get some specs later down the road, but that information also changed because there was a change in the equipment. After we got that equipment nailed down, the installer contractor came on board. They did a walkthrough. They recommended provide that extra door as a recommendation, and the report was made. Now that we had a CT scanner equipment that was going to be installed. Then what happened is that information got sent over to a medical physicist, who then in turn prepared the children report. That children report is giving the information on how much pounds per square foot of lead goes into the walls, into the doors, and into the windows. That report was provided to the contractor, and this is the price of what it takes to actually install all of the lead shielding requirements within that room to support the CT scanner.
So I believe, I'll step in
Yeah,
here.
one question, what happened to the pricing on the other, lid that's going to be installed?
There was another change.
That was already,
Yes.
contemplated.
That was for the X-ray equipment.
No, this one.
It was for the X-ray.
So you never had specs for the CT scanner?
On the lead shielding, no.
The CT scanner.
I have another question, sorry. There's another change order, and that's for the set of double doors? And we're talking about an additional, $17,000. So these two change orders roughly are $100,000 each.
Are the double doors necessary?
You can go with a 48-inch wide, 40-inch wide. That's fine.
Why does the door width need to be changed?
To get the CT scanner into the machine, into the room.
So if,
If you're talking about the door at the hallway, then you're not talking about that opening. The CT scanner is not going to that opening. It's going through the front door.
No, it's going through the back door. The back door by the.
The one that doesn't exist yet.
Right. That's
Tony,
all.
show the,
Tony,
Tony, can you show that back area right there?
So if it's going to the back door, what do we need to widen the door in the hallway?
You don't need to widen the door in the hallway. They're talking, I think that's the area that needs the door right there, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That's where the CT scanner is gonna go through. So whatever that needs to do, that's all that needs to be done, in my opinion. You don't need to do anything with the hallway.
No, they asked me to, and I told them no.
When I talked to you, I think you were talking about the door at the hallway.
That's-
You need to widen the door.
That's where we bring the
So
CT scanner in. put the back doors, make those double doors so you can open them, great. So then if we have to move equipment in and out, you know, then we can.
So I mean, when you and I were together, that hallway door that enters that room right there, that door jamb is not there, right? And the door. It doesn't have to be widened. What has to happen is that jamb has, even the door jamb is lead lined. So that door jamb has to be used with a lead lining to the poundage that, every part. And I.
Now, wait a minute. Two doors. The door to get it in the building is have to go with at least 40 days. Price for a 5-foot door is about the same, just better to go 5 foot.
Now, what door we're talking about? Okay, you get it in. That's a different door.
I know, but there's another door that enters the scanner. That does have to be changed to 48. Right now it is 3 foot.
Why does it need to be changed?
Because they said you want the gurneys to apply to that door all the time to fit. You said it's gotta be, it doesn't have to be, but they would like 48 inch.
Okay, then, it doesn't have to be.
There's a question.
Now I'm really concerned. Someone said something, someone didn't say something, someone didn't see, someone didn't hear. Now we got door 1, now we got door 2, 3, and, the concern now is that, how much did this project start, and now we having change orders and change orders. At the end of the day, how much of this project is gonna end up with? I mean, it's nonsense. I mean, we got a board, and we have a director here that's getting paid pretty good money, and, I mean, it seems you guys are not on the same page. There's something wrong, okay?
Thank you for your comments. So then, what is the wishes of the board? You're saying that we don't,
The door's not needed.
it's not needed, it is not needed, and we don't need to do it.
It's wanted by equipment people, doctor, I think, want that light through the door. And maybe I'm wrong, they told me.
For the door coming in, that was not my request.
Oh,
You can use a wheelchair to get them into the CT scan. I don't-
oh,
My concern though is that door needs to be fixed,
Yeah.
because we do need to get the CT scanner into the building.
My understanding, we have said as a board, we were not gonna approve any change orders. That's my understanding, because everything was already calculated and said what needs to be done, and we're talking about an additional $100,000. That,
My only
There's a lot
comment,
of
my only comment as
misinformation.
a medical professional and somebody who's gonna be taking this building over is, if you don't put lead in the walls, I can't put a CT scanner in there, and the public's not gonna have the CT scanner. I'm not involved with the construction, I'm not involved with the pricing, I'm just making a very common sense observation, okay? Those doors need to be done so that we can put the CT scanner in there, we can then lock it up so we can secure the facility. The CT scan room does need to be finished, okay? And, you know, that's kind of one of my option items, if you wanna wait, we can talk about those things. But, you know,
I believe this, all of the board included in the packet we provided with the change order and the description. We also have, I believe, the letter from Medical Physics Solutions that Sanders solicited to get that resolved, correct?
That's the medical physicist report.
And I believe all of you have that report.
No, we don't have it.
It would have been included with the change order.
We don't have to sell.
It's
Yes.
It's to be a point, we knew that the doors were needed to be done. The thing is that in the past, when we discussed, we had asked, are there any more change orders? And at the time, the discussion was, no. There were some pending ones that they had discussed at some point, but never the issue, because there was a change in equipment. So, when we first talked about it, you're right, we said no more change orders, and we're very clear about that. For the team, the construction team, they felt that that was a pending order, because that never really got brought up, but it wasn't discussed at our board meeting, we should have discussed. If you wanna put a CT scanner, then we will be a place to change those down. Right? right now, it's whether, the question is, well, we don't need a door for all, the door's fine. So when you discuss this, we know that it has to go with, businesses have to get done. If you wanna approve or not, the change order to install that wall, protect the public and the employees from that. It's a simple yes or no question. And, obviously, we can't go back and change, well, we said we're gonna have any change orders or not. If we don't wanna put a CT in there, that's one thing. Is it better to have a CT in there than not? It probably is to serve the public, or to do an acute care center. But it's really, the question is, do you need do you understand the business report to understand it? That's why it is the door, and I think that's why the change order is there. Whether you wanna see the report or not, we have the report, but it's not the report doesn't mean that it's a requirement. They need that requirement to make sure. But the thing is that things changed from the time we began this project to now. And initially you had a CT scanner in there. And somewhere along the line, that conversation didn't mature, and it didn't go anywhere. As to, hey, we're gonna need to put lead in this room, because if that was the case, we would have had a change order way back then when the project was started. So there have been a lot of change orders, and the thing is, because they have been receiving, why didn't we catch it on time if we didn't want to keep? So right now the problem is a problem for you, right? This is something that is where we're at, and what do we do with it? And whether you want to address it or not, the CT they have is whether that is the old one, but once again, it's $82,000 plus $84,000 to get it changed. And if, while we're addressing this, are there going to be any more change orders, or is this really the end? I think that it's a fair question. Huh?
You have electrical software.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be a showstopper, Warner. The sign, we know that it's an issue, we discussed it, but it's not necessary to move forward. There could be some signage, but that could be a separate project, and maybe Dr. Tyson wants to put it, but to go on and out on like Bluetooth to a car and extra stuff, that's pretty much a want, not a need to get started. The thing is that an emergency care that's gonna function, it's the next thing to an ER, right? We can't afford an ER, we can't afford a hospital, Alexis, there's no funding for it. But the emergency care is the next best thing, and it will address, what is it, Ryan, about 90% of ER visits are using emergency care?
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, if we want, we could just go ahead into, item 3, and I
Well,
can.
no, we have to decide.
Oh, on this.
But
Okay,
if you
so.
wanna give information on this issue.
Yeah, let me,
why-
well, I'll
why
give you
it's important.
information on why it's important. Okay, so the thought is, in what I want to explain, especially to the public, there's different levels of urgent cares. Okay, there's level 5 urgent cares where basically it's a walk-in clinic, right? They don't do a whole lot. You go in, you get cough and cold, you get a prescription, you get your blood pressure medication, you go up, right? And then you go all the way up to a level 1 urgent care. And the level 1 urgent care is basically a standalone ER. Okay? Now to qualify that, you have to have a CT scan machine. Okay? That allows us, okay, a higher level of service when it comes to emergency cases. Okay? And being able to provide emergency services. You come in with abdominal pain and I need to rule out appendicitis. You've got a high white count. I need a CT scan or an ultrasound to be able to say, yes, you have appendicitis, or no, you don't. Okay? If not, then we become a level 2 urgent care, which is what we have right now in El Centro. Our El Centro location is a level 2 urgent care. We're open 7 days a week, we're open 12 hours a day. We provide x-ray services. We have a handheld ultrasound, which I can look at things. But I don't have a formal ultrasound or a CT scan. Okay? Those 2 things for the city of Calexico are huge, because it's going to save the residents having to go to the hospital, ambulance to El Centro, or all the way up to Brawley if we're talking OB stuff, okay, having an ultrasound, okay, and saving costs for things that if they rule out, they don't have to go, right? If we can provide those services here, right, then we're not worried about the ambulance that has to take somebody all the way to the hospital, wait for a bed, wait to drop them off, and then come all the way back to Calexico when there might be an emergency down the street. Our whole goal is to be able to provide the services that have been missing in this city for a very long time.
26 years.
Right? And if people really know me, I've been very, very community oriented. We've done everything from helping the wellness center during COVID and taking their patients and our urgent cares, they had their services to, you know, opening things up on a fairground and paying money to be able to take care of patients and putting up stuff in parking lots so we can see patients, do the whole thing. I want the best that we can provide. I really, really want that. We've done the work's almost there, you know, the finish line is in sight. So if we can get the public what they need, it's gonna be more successful than anything else, I think, that has come out of what Heffernan's done, honest to God.
Mr. Tyson, I have a question for you. How many level 1 urgent care centers are here in Bear Valley?
Zero. And we are the only level 2 urgent care in the entire Imperial County. The other quote urgent cares are level 4 or level 5. They don't offer services, they don't offer pediatric services in 2 of the locations, they don't offer x-rays, they don't offer ultrasounds, you know, they're not staffed by physicians, you know, I mean, we're talking a big level difference, okay? I don't do primary care, I don't do nephrology, I don't do dermatology, I do emergency medicine, that's what I do. And we hired another doctor, Dr. Verduzco, okay, family practice trained, but urgent care trained, because he's been with me now for 2 years, okay, did his residency in a very rough place, okay, and he also does not do primary care, he doesn't specialize, he was brought on for Calexico. So we're staffing with doctors, we're trying to provide that level of care. And man, I mean, you know, Dr. or Mrs. Bernal, I've been chomping at the bit to get this place open. I have been chomping at the bit. Give me the key, give me what we need. You know, I don't want to go into fall or winter again and not have a facility out here. Okay? I need people to understand. I'm not the person that's holding this up, guys. Okay? I know there's been issues, but it's not my issues. Okay, and I don't want people to think that, oh, well, Dr. Tights is asking for this, or asking for, I haven't asked for anything. All I've asked for is keys. That's all I'm asking for. And I really need the community to understand that. Because we're ready.
I have a question. So, I'm sorry that we are in this situation. I thought everything was planned and everything was paid off. But if this needs to be done, the community from Calexico, the underserved community of Calexico needs a CT scan. They need a level 1 under urgent care because we don't have nothing. We don't have any hospitals there. So that's the best thing that we can have for the community, for our underserved community.
I have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know that the board, we all agreed that there was not going to be any more change orders, and I know we all agreed on that. But I think that now that I understand what Dr. Tyson is saying about having a level 1 urgent care, which is really, really needed in Calexico because of what I ditto everything that Mr. Moreno says. You know, I have changed my mind. I have changed my mind to go ahead and go with this change order because it's important. It's something that they're going to leave here to Calexico, to the residents, because they need it. Especially we have all the seniors that live all around here. They're the ones that need it the most, and I've changed my mind.
I have a question. If this change order is approved, when is the urgent center gonna be functioning? Because this urgent center was supposed to start being open in February, and we're almost in August. And we don't have our urgent center open. If it's not this, it's that, it's whatever. We are in August.
I'll have him answer.
No, the other thing that I was gonna comment on
But
further,
on the question that she asked, please answer that.
When is it gonna be open if this is approved?
You can-
Landscaping,
I've
I
got
mean,
the answer.
what's the answer?
Well, like I was mentioning to you, 4 months to get the doors open.
Okay, but
I thought we had said, wait, I thought we said we would open the north side first.
yes.
thank you.
Yes.
The north side, and then we would deal with the
I'm willing,
south.
this is what I'm telling you I'm willing to do. And this is again, I'm going out on a limb on this, okay? If you can get me the certificate of occupancy for the north side, okay, for the north side, we can open as a level 2 urgent care.
And
Okay?
what's pending on that, for that to happen?
The shade, that little
As I-
shade thing,
As I talked about before.
And how fast could we get that shade?
It's gonna be.
Next
be there on one side.
Question, Dr. Tyson, on the south side, can you operate the south side without the, CT scan? Can you operate that? For the building that is done?
I would defer that question to what I'm gonna tell you in brief. And the designation of what that site is gonna be used for. Would it be functional, semi-functional? It would be semi-functional. Would it be fully functional? Absolutely not. But I still believe the north side, we can provide urgent care services, just like I do in El Centro. I have 4 rooms and a procedure room, okay? I've got an x-ray room all on that north side. So that part of the urgent care can be open, okay? The south side is where we're gonna have a CT scan machine, 2 observation rooms, okay? And a couple of more patient rooms, and then you've got the pharmacy, right?
Okay, so then.
That part is different than this part.
Yeah. So for right now, you can open a level 2 urgent care center.
could.
And then once the south side is finished, then you'll have the level 1 center.
Then what-
And you're saying that in
Right.
2 weeks, are
So,
we saying that by
on
the
the
end of?
landscaping, we're 2 weeks out. We are less than that in terms of getting the shade cloth. Those were the items that were brought to my attention by Chuck Cortez, the city inspector. Then I would need to set up an inspection with himself and the fire marshal. They will both meet with me, concur, me, at that point, everything is good. I believe that we're working in that direction.
So
Have
did
been
you
for a
say that
while.
by August, we would be ready to open? If it's 2 weeks? Yeah,
Well, the August, the first week, so.
yeah.
I have a question. So, this is really upsetting because this urgent center is not gonna be complete, functioning 100% until December or January. When we talked about this as a board and with you guys a year ago, and you guys said it was gonna be open in February. What's gonna happen in 2 weeks? Something else is gonna happen? It's ridiculous that we've been waiting this long.
It is.
It is.
But it has nothing to do with Robert Pryor or myself or the doctor. It is the products that we need, trying to get.
A door that's gonna
Well,
take you 4
well.
months to get here.
Yes. The last 2 weeks, I haven't seen anyone in there. Without no one to work.
So,
You must have become late at
I
night.
need, if we're gonna do these changes, we need to get them from you to do the job.
I've been here on Sundays because
I mean, you, but
nobody's there with me.
I'm talking about workers.
I just wanna say
But right
something.
now, we're waiting on this lead stuff. Got me out there over here.
I just wanna, can I just say something? Because the public probably does not know this. They're getting fined every single day as of when are you getting fined?
Right now,
You're not?
For every day that you're not completed?
You're not
we're
getting
waiting
fined?
for lead. It's out of work.
It's my
But you
understanding
got
is in
fined, you've been
November.
getting fined $500 a day since, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you, Mr. Beacon, please.
You have a liquidated damages.
Mr. Beacon?
Mr. Rivera, you wanna talk to them about the liquidated damages?
You have a copy of that? Don't you have a copy of that?
So, Mr. Rivera, can you clear that? You're the one that wrote the, talk about
It's
it?
my understanding that there is an agreement
Yes.
that you signed.
Yes, and then came the chamber with the plastic. Then came the lead, it's unobtainable. You can't change that. We were waiting for this report. This report is big. Man. With that allows us to record. We can't complete without the report. We can't complete doing the plaster. They just gave you a letter, I told you.
There is a letter there that Mr. Rivera wrote and you signed that said
November 1, 2023.
Yeah.
November
So
1,
there's another-
2023, $500 a day for not being in completion.
But I told you very clearly that.
But that's what the letter says, sir.
It says we will commence with liquidated damages. The liquidated damages is out of my control when I cannot get reports, I cannot get materials, or we decide to plaster the building like we
Is that so, Mr. Rivera?
I don't know. We're gonna have to review everything that's been said today
Okay.
concerning his position, our position, and it's not appropriate that you try to negotiate something on a legal basis in an open meeting. The matter before you is whether or not you're going to consider a change order based upon the public policies that have been argued
Okay.
before you. Then we'll take care of whatever disagreement we have with that November letter and the contractor and the engineering people.
Okay.
We'll take care of that, but that shouldn't impact on your decision whether or not you want to follow the recommendations of Dr. Tyson and his proposal to you regarding the north building, and then the south building with this door that you have to make a decision. Now, it's $100,000, but given the magnitude of the investment that you've already made, that's a minimal amount of additional monies for the impact that it's gonna have on your community for 15 years, because Dr. Tyson has a lease agreement for 5 years with 2 options for 2 additional 5-year periods. So if you look at a 15-year investment of medical services at a grade 1, Dr. Tyson, eventually, then, you know, you've done a wonderful project for the community for the next 15 years. But if you're going to focus on $100,000 and you're gonna focus on a door that in an overall scheme of things is really minimal, and then we have to talk to the contractors about liquidated damages, they have arguments that they can make, and we can't settle
Okay, we're
it
gonna
here in
go ahead
public.
and, we're gonna go ahead and vote. I think if there's no more discussion here, does anybody have any more discussion? Any questions? Then we're gonna
So
go.
we are voting just for the CT scanner? Or
We
for
are
everything?
voting for the change order.
What is the change order that pertains to the CT scan or the
For the door.
MRI, door? How much is that?
Yes, 183, 160.
One is 83, yeah, that we have here, yeah, 83, and the other one is 60.
Yes.
Okay, so then, on the floor, we have a change order for $83,000 and one for $16,000. 16, Mr. William?
My only question was, I thought there were 2 different items. One door was for that area, and the one in the hall we said we didn't need.
Oh, we didn't need that
No,
one.
that was
So we don't need that, so
Well, I
is
recall.
that the 16,000?
No,
No, that's the exterior, that's been
That's the exterior door, right?
And the 83, so then,
16,000 is the exterior.
so then from there, you would have to do a reduction. So how much is that reduction?
I'd have to do it.
We have
We
two
need-
change orders.
we
Yeah,
need
but
to
it's not
have-
gonna be
We
83,000.
need to have an amount.
We have to have an amount. so
Then
that-
table the item. We could
I
have a
would
special
recommend
meeting
that you
next week.
consider approving it subject to a reduction in the savings of the other door.
we would call that a credit back.
Okay.
We can do a deducted change order, so the next board meeting, our credit will be back to the.
Okay. With that being said, is there a motion on the floor?
I have a question before I vote. Will this be our last change order? Will this be our last change order?
I have to, well, how would I answer that? This is not my change order, this is Heffernan's change order, this is what's needed. I don't control that. If you come tomorrow and you need something done, I'm gonna give you whatever you need. I work for you. I work for you.
is there any chance that we can get a couple of exchange orders?
Yeah.
Because we don't have it.
And we got it by email.
Yeah,
Or
by
by
email.
email.
We'll
We got it by
we'll
email.
print it for you before you
We
leave.
always
if you want.
I've got one here.
Yeah, so we can make copies. And we can present it to the public as well.
So that we were approved with the change and getting credit for what, 29 rooms is anything to do with the hallway?
That, the hallway and the sign, we're not, I don't know from the sign either.
No, the sign.
That's not,
That's another $16,000. It is,
No, it came.
huh?
it is, another $16,000.
Yeah.
Okay, then you mean, well, just, is it, ¿La Rosario no lo tiene allá?
Okay.
Okay. So we have here the seat built for $14,267.85. And you wanna go ahead and read it? Then we have, I'll read this one. Electricity contracting, monument, sign, lighting, that one we're not gonna do, right?
You have a change order for that, for how much?
5,800.
I don't
It's not a
need that
change
change
order. It's a change order for, oh yeah. We're not gonna do that one, right?
Okay, that's fine.
So the total on that one is $6,236.16.
I thought it was 16.
Yeah. So this one we're not doing.
So,
No.
can I,
Copies.
can I,
I don't have those change orders.
He's making copies.
Yeah, but I
Do you have papers?
so, can I make a recommendation on just that sign then, the monument sign thing? If we're not gonna fix it, can we just take it out?
What, well, we can erase everything that's on there.
No, you're gonna install a sign, right? The
Well,
only thing you're not gonna install is the electricity.
just electricity.
Just the electricity.
The sign's going to be there.
Okay, cause I'm like, I was told like, you're not doing anything, like, I'm putting signs up on the building already, so. If you're not gonna do, if they're not gonna do anything for electricity, there's no point in having a monument sign when we're gonna have signs on the walls.
Well, it'll be Heffernan.
Okay, you can put your signs up,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine,
That'll
as
be
long, I just wanna make sure everybody understands that. Okay, cause if they're not gonna, I'm not gonna pay for electricity to a sign. Okay. I just wanna make sure that's not going under my expectations.
Yes.
Why are we discussing that this whole parade here is gonna be dissolved? Why are we discussing any purchases or any 101 businesses? Once something's dissolved, you don't keep on adding to the expenses. I mean,
We're not dissolved yet.
We're
well,
still
it's a
aboard.
couple of days and you have no patience, so it's,
That's right. A couple of days.
I mean,
Because
more
it
than
will
Right now we
continue.
do.
So
Because
that's
it
how
will
you got to-
continue with IVHP. It's
but
not,
but the public doesn't want it, the citizens don't want it, so you're gonna dissolve.
Why they don't want it? They don't want the ordinance?
0.05% of the population is not the whole population of Alexis.
No, and trust me,
Okay?
you haven't.
You know what?
I've come, wait, I let you speak for a long time. I've come here to knock on this door, you speak. I did.
It's out of order, out of order.
I came to knock on this door twice and I was deadly, gravely ill. Nobody even answered. No, but twice for the same thing. I had to go to Mexicali. And over there, I get
Point of order, she
fixed.
hasn't been recognized.
So I'm gonna ask you, if this has already been proposed to dissolve it, why keep on adding? Why? I mean, it's like putting a pool in your house that's gonna be confiscated. Really?
We are
Why?
a very understaffed community that needs.
No, those are your words. We're a very well-staffed community. Like, I don't understand, what business 101 is you work your way up. You don't put let's just say a clinic, what is it? Approval phase one, case one? Clinic level one?
Point of order.
At the beginning, you put what we can have, and then you work yourself up. That's business. I mean, don't you add anything to a house when you just purchase it, or you just leave it like that, and that's how you kind of like let it degrade? I mean, that's business 101. You build up, you don't build down.
I'm sorry for that.
okay, thank you for your comments. Okay, can we go ahead and, you need to see the papers, or
Yes.
you already
Yeah,
got
we
the
just-
papers, they were sent to you, and,
They were not, there was only two, change orders that I received by
We're not
email.
voting on the other.
Excuse me,
We're not voting on the other.
but I wanna see it.
Okay. I'm saying we're not voting on the other.
so the one on the second page is the one that we're not going to be doing anything with, $6,236.
Which one there?
Second page, the one for $6,200. And the one, the change order for the scan room, to change, that one, to do the lead door and frame. That one is going to cost $83,365.47. But you're not going to be doing the hallway, right? We already agreed, so, and this is on the.
That's part of it.
So they're not gonna be doing the hallway, so then from there you will have to give credit for whatever is not done. And Mr. Rivera is saying that we can go ahead and make the motion with the understanding that.
There's gonna be a credit.
they're going to be a credit. Okay, do I have a motion on the floor for this item? For the change order?
What amount is gonna be credit?
He doesn't know that, it's the one from the last page, on that, it's the one for $83,355.47. When that, they're gonna let us know how much credit they're gonna give us.
There's a hallway door that now we are not going to install. That will, you'll get a credit back out of that $83,000.
Do I have a motion on the floor to go ahead and approve the change order?
I made the motion to approve the change order and, with the understanding that we're getting a credit on, workman's rehab.
There's a motion on the floor, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Ureña, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Yes. And one abstain. Okay, moving on to, Dr. Tyson. Dr. Tyson,
Okay, so we discussed a lot of the items, already. And so just to be clear, south side building, north side building, okay? North side building, we need to get keys and certificate of occupancy as soon as possible. That will then allow me to get everything I need delivered into the north side of the building so we can start the urgent care process. Okay, now, I respect the public comment of we can start small and we can grow. I do believe in that. I think if we can get the north side building started, we can use that building for urgent care services at a lower level while we complete the south side of the project, okay? The south side of the project includes CT room, CT scanner, observation beds, which are gonna require oxygen, okay? And we had that discussion when we did a walkthrough, okay? As well as, at some point, we are going to need backup generators. Okay, we did talk about that as well. So, my hope is understanding the culture of what's going on right now and transitioning from Heffernan to Imperial Valley and all of these things. What I'm asking for is basically like a due bill. Something that says, you know, we agree that we're gonna finish these things. In the event the board does dissolve next week, or 2 weeks, or a month, or 2 months, I don't know, right? And then that per se contract will then be transferred over to Imperial Valley to say, yes, we agreed We talked about these things. This is the level of service that we want at the surgeon care. We want this to be a level 1 basic ER. We've gone through the process. We just ran out of time before all of this happened, right? So that way, number 1, the public knows what they're gonna get, okay? 2, we can then guarantee the public's going to get what we say they're gonna get. Because I gave you guys the CT scan proposal, right? And that CT scan, I'm not the one selling it, is about $450,000 for the first year. Okay, that includes the purchase and the installation, as well as the insurance on it, okay? We'll take that cost year 2 once everything's installed, okay? But just like a hospital, if you go to Pioneers or ECRMC, right? The ER group gets contracted by the hospital. The ER group is not responsible for putting in a CT scan machine or an MRI machine or ultrasounds or any of the oxygen on the walls, right? We come in as a group to say, yes, we're gonna provide emergency medicine services, we're gonna staff it, we're gonna run it, we're gonna make sure that the community gets all those needs, okay? So I just want everybody to understand that. There is an expectation, right? I'm not expecting you to put in the CT scanner next week. It may be next year, okay? It may be 2 years from now. But we gotta finish the building first. I need assurances that we're gonna finish the building, that when the district does decide to get dissolved, I'm not gonna be left with half a building and 450 to, another another 100, so, $500,000 in where I've gotta come out of my pocket on to provide that service, right? I don't think that's fair. I think the agreement is we're gonna run it, we're gonna staff it, we're gonna stock it, we're gonna do everything we can to provide for the community what it needs. But we also need assurances as the leaser that these things are gonna be completed. So my consideration for you guys is, can we agree that yes, this is what we want? Can we put that in a written format that you guys can then sign off on, so in the event or when that happens, you can turn that over to Imperial Valley's district and say, these are the items we agreed upon, please make sure they get done.
So you're saying that you need, Heffernan to pay for the CT scanner? Or the,
Heffernan or the one district should pay for the CT scanner, yes, absolutely.
I do have a public comment on this item. Yeah, go ahead. I'd like to say that, besides this very large grant that this doctor here is receiving, the public needs to make sure that a liability insurance policy that his nonprofit has that will cover his nonprofit medical interactions with the community, and that hold harmless, I would assume, Heffernan, from any activities that they do. Because the last time that this board, and first of all, congratulations, hard work. You guys got to a point, but unfortunately, you're being closed up till next week. Really sad. But what we did see is that the very large amounts that you gave out in granting to Dr. Bo, we never saw that medical liability insurance policy. And I think that that's also very important before we give the keys, that the citizens are protected from all liabilities. This is a lot of investment, and for us not to know if there's any medical insurance coverage. And so within the next stage, we are going to be asking that the reporting happen appropriately as well. Because when you do grant out these large amounts of money, as was displayed here, there's a lot of confusion. The citizens have no idea what the money's being spent on. So we have not seen any reporting for Dr. Bo's huge amounts, which I believe was surpassing $500,000. With whatever amount it was, 300 million, I'm sorry, I meant to say 300,000. Sorry, I do apologize. For street teams. And in street teams, he was out there with certain young groups out there, working with the uninsured, which the Heffernan knows that that's not why the citizens were taxed that long, to provide insurance to people who couldn't show that they actually lived in the community. But the one thing again is that those encounters with those people out in the streets, that he was doing the street teams with his staff, and having encounters with the community out in the streets where the homeless are in very dangerous areas, we never knew if there's any liabilities there because we didn't see the medical malpractice insurance nor anything that covered the actual way that Dr. Bose set up his nonprofit. So if Dr. Tyson is also setting up a nonprofit, we'd like to make sure that the nonprofit is insuring our community. Thank you.
Can I make one comment? Sure. This is the last for us involved, but of Dr. Johnson's request, the first one is keys to the building. I want you to know that he has employed a company called CompuServe that is putting in a security cameras. Not to impede progress, we provided that company a full set of keys. The pharmacy, north, south, electrical rooms, data rooms, they have that. With your approval, we can provide another set to Dr. Tyson. And I will say, but with one stipulation, furniture, equipment, and all of that, I first chuckled, he'll hang me if we start putting.
You know what you can do and you can't
Right.
do.
No,
And
but
if
that's
it's
what I mean by
permissible-
keys to the building.
and if
What I
it's
mean by
per-
keys to the building is,
Excuse me, if it's permissible to do it after Chuck says it's okay, then it's okay.
yeah.
We'll gladly provide that.
And that's, and maybe that's my, bad language or lingo is, what I mean by keys to the building is the certificate of occupancy is done, here you go, you can start your process. I know we have access to the building, but what I mean is, you're turning over keys to us and say, okay, so we can open and get started.
So.
We have insurance, trust me.
Okay, so that,
All providers.
Dr. Tyson, Dr. Tyson. I just want to say that I'm very happy to see this happening. I'm happy that we are leaving something to the community and that you're being part of this. I don't regret the money that we have spent because it was spent well and it was spent the way that it should be. And if there's any legacy to be left here by the Heffernan board, is that building right there. And I hope that you make us proud of that building, because just because we are no longer gonna be here, it doesn't mean that we don't care. We care. And just to let you know that I'm happy that Heffernan is finally being dissolved. I'm happy that it's going county-wide, because that's what we need. In order to be able to survive in the Imperial Valley, we need to have that it be countywide.
And we're honestly, we're super excited about this. I've been trying to be involved in as much of it as possible. I came to a rural community to provide exactly this. Like I said, I think my reputation speaks for itself when it comes to everything we've done for the community. There's very few providers out here that have taken that step to do that. I know Dr. Vogt is one of them as well, and I think that as long as we keep working together, we're stronger. And again, what we can provide here is absolutely essential when you're talking about the population you have, the limited ambulance services you have, right? Limited resources you have. It is vital that we get this up and off the ground to the best that we can. And we're here to do that for you. We're excited to do that for you. We're eager to do that for you. And we're trained to do that for the community.
Thank you.
With that being said, I understand what you're saying, Dr. Tyson, but I can't commit any of this thing except for the keys. And I think that VHD will decide on these items.
Well, at least if you could, at least put those items that we've discussed that these were the proposals. So that way they have record of it, that we had that discussion here.
Yeah, we do.
And we can take that up with them, but I would hope at least for a guarantee that the building's gonna be completed.
Exactly, that's it. That's why I came from the list until the building is done.
Well, I understand, but
First priority is get the building done.
I get it, but we're talking 4 months for doors, and I don't think you guys are gonna be here in 4 months. So I would highly suggest that we put this in a format.
We can put a letter saying that these are the pending things.
These are the
that
pending
need to be
items.
done, and
This has been paid
IBHG
for, this has not been paid for, this has not
IBHG
been
will
paid for.
decide.
This is public record, so.
Right,
Yeah.
I agree, but when we introduced ourselves to the board, not very many people knew what we were doing here. Not this board, their board.
I'm surprised because I
So,
just stood up and I talked to them.
I know, so I have my wife, she went to the press conference, she introduced herself, she
Yeah, I
introduced
know.
what we did. And it was very interesting to see, you know, some of the reactions, oh, wow, I didn't realize that.
That's not the community.
I agree. So that leads me to the last thing, which is the marketing, and the marketing committee that you discussed, right? We need to start marketing, and we need to figure out how we're gonna market, right? Again, is that being left to me
No,
to
it's not
do?
being left to you, what it is, that
Well,
we,
what I think we didn't discuss it, that are not on the agenda.
But yeah. That was supposed to be as part of the proposal to move on, because again, if you guys dissolve next week, we're not in the marketing phase, that has to be passed on. So again, just a consideration
I
item.
think that we're
please.
waiting for a date. That's why we have not been able to meet and decide.
Well, we had said before, Ms. Bernal, that we're gonna prepare ourselves,
Oh, we
not
have been
wait,
preparing.
we have not done anything.
We haven't
We
done
have not done
anything.
anything.
We have not done anything because we're waiting for a date. to
You
find
can
out.
prepare, give updates, what's going on. We have not, as a board, done anything for the citizens of Calexico.
We have been putting
to
up
update.
the videos on our webpage
Come on,
for the bill.
that website's not even up there.
Mr. Jensen, not too much money is really.
I think we should.
Okay,
Point of
just a
order.
minute, point of order, ma'am, point of order. Point of order. Ma'am, point of order. Thank you for your comments. Okay, let's, what do you wanna do? Do you wanna go ahead and us leave a letter saying the things that we, that still needed to be done and give it to IBHD, so they will know?
But we're not committing to
Well,
anything.
the-
so
No, no,
we're
no,
gonna
we're
get
not
there.
committing.
The thing is, this is public, information, and it's going to be, the minutes, the discussion. So IBHD will know.
To the new district.
Yeah.
And tell them what's pending. We can't agree to something.
Now, once you get the minutes, you can say, look, this is what I propose, and this is what I'm doing.
I would formally request at least a letter to know and advise the district of what we've done and where we plan to go. So that way they know there are still pending issues. If the board can't do that at this point in time, I would consider that a fail. Honestly,
I
because
don't have a problem with like Mr. Nathan writing a letter and saying, you know, that these are the things that need to be completed for the 100% for the urgent care.
if we take my concern is if we take occupancy of the building on the north side, right? Who's to say that the south side, then if it's not completed, the board, the IBC board says, well, you've already taken over the lease of the building, we're not gonna finish anything for you. Right? And they could easily do that. Okay, so that's, I look at things from all different angles. If you don't put something in paper saying, hey, we agreed, these things are gonna be done, the board then can't say, oh, well, the Heffernan board never told us about that. Well, here's the minutes, yeah, but they never formally gave us anything in writing, right? So, you know, I'm always thinking right in legally, right? Put it in a contract form, a letter. You guys sign, these are the things we discussed. These are the things that are pending. These are the things that we agreed to pay for. These are paid. These are additional future items that were being discussed, we haven't agreed to pay or not, right?
That wouldn't be the
We're
message
not
to the
agreeing.
citizens.
Yeah, we don't have.
Not agreeing.
I would,
to
that's,
that.
I mean, as far as.
Excuse me, you're out of order, ma'am, ma'am, you are out of order. The board is speaking right now, please.
I really hope that the new district completes what is pending for the Surgeon Center, because they're taking all our money. And the least that Calexico needs is supposedly an urgent center for many years that we've been waiting for be completed. At least give something to the citizens of Calexico. They're taking, whatever, yeah. That's all I have to say.
Okay, then what is the wishes of the board, what do you want to do?
Continue with the agenda.
Okay. Then moving on to C, discussion or action, review and approval of George Wood's proposal for 24-25 Riverville High. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your guys' name?
We're Robert Pryor.
Robert Pryor?
And Warren McChristy.
Okay.
Our middle names Mitchell and George. We are George Mitchell Builders. We are the general contractor of record for the 400 Mary Street project.
Okay, perfect. I didn't get his name, sorry.
Warner.
Warner.
Christie.
Warner Christie.
Matt Christie.
Matt Christie. Okay. I'm with the Desert Review. I just want to give you guys his name so I could caption it properly.
Are you with the meeting?
I'm with the Desert Review. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
The ID board requested.
Ma'am, you keep talking without being recognized.
I just have a comment regarding that, Mr. Valdez. We never get people to come to our meeting. We never get people, and I think our people should, let me finish. Okay, you let other people talk when you want, and other people from the public you don't allow. Respect our public.
I think,
Very hostile.
okay, going on with the application, we had tabled this item before, and we need to take action on this.
So we're not gonna be here on the 25th, right?
No, but we need to turn over all our budget over to the IDHD.
But you don't have to make an approval on that. Because that's taxpayer money.
Excuse me, ma'am, if you want to, let us make comments. First,
on
let us
this agenda.
make the comments.
It's
and
our
then-
money too, you know.
No, I know, ma'am, but let us first make the comments here, and then I'll.
But
then
you
I'll
don't
go
seem to
ahead
be
and-
okay
And I'll go
with
ahead
this.
and.
Let those letters, that statement can just be molded up. No problem. Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Oh, Desert Review?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
What, you're not asking me anymore? I mean, you
Yeah,
could,
yeah, go ahead.
ask him?
Yeah.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I'm Carlos Rand.
Hi, Carlos, how are you?
So what do you guys, so what do you think about what happened in there?
I mean, I know there's a,
Did they approve the item? They didn't, right?
they didn't address it, unfortunately.
Okay.
So they know what needs to be done. They know what we've talked about. You know, the question then is, are they gonna pass on the information to the new board or not? I don't know. I would hope so. We did discuss it in the meeting. You know, I do agree that the meeting minutes do reflect that. However, my concern is if Heffernan District does dissolve next week as being suspected, is the urgency of getting these things accomplished for the citizens of Calexico going to take precedent over them putting the board together, right? Because what we know about the one district board is it's an appointed board and they're doing a lot of legal things. They're trying to get contracts. They're not going to be focused on whether or not the urgent care has oxygen or not. That's my concern. Now, it may be different, but my concern is, are we going to get the CT scanner? Are we going to get oxygen? Are we going to have that south side of the building ready so that we can be the level 1 urgent care that everyone's asking us to do? I think those will be discussions that we'll have to have with the new board. But my hope was at least we can put something on paper to say, you know, these are the discussions we've been having for the last 2.5 years. That this is not fresh, it's not trying to take advantage of an unknown, you know, where the board's trying to come in and say, oh, well, now Dr. Tyson wants XYZ. No, Dr. Tyson has never asked for XYZ. The board, the Heffernan District came to me and asked me to provide a service, right? And the service that we're providing is under contract by giving us a lease to a building. What I told the board is, again, if El Centro Regional wants a particular service from a physician, they're going to provide the physician, the facility, and the equipment needed to provide that service, right? They're not going to ask the urologist to buy the robotic arm to do prostate surgery. They're not going to ask the ER to buy the CT scanner to provide emergency medicine, or put oxygen in the wall so that your patients who are having trouble breathing can get oxygen. Their job as the district is to provide the facility. And then we as the providers provide the level of care expected at that facility. And the problem that I've had with districts, and even the new districts, is you have non-qualified medical personnel. Okay, they're not qualified medical personnel in these meetings or in these committees. They have no idea what a level 1 urgent care is. They have no idea what a level 5 urgent care is. You know, so how are you going to run a district that's supposed to take care of the entire county if you don't even have a medical provider? You know, we tried, and my wife, Tyson, was a registered nurse and became a nurse practitioner, Rowan Valley, Rowan West County. We tried to get her on the board so that she can give a medical personnel perspective to what's going on and what we're doing, and she was declined. We were told we were going to get physician committee, and we haven't had a physician committee been brought up yet either. So that's my concern. And so we're getting close to finishing a building. They're talking about dissolving the board, and then how am I going to get the resources I need for the facility if the board is still working on language and lawyers and contracts, right? Because my understanding is most of the money that the one district is asking for is all legal fees. I haven't seen them ask for
The IVHD?
right. So IVHD, it's just been legal fees and legal fees and legal fees.
That's why you're asking for...
That's why I'm asking for something in writing to say, hey, look, these things
You got to
need
guarantee. You got to guarantee. So I didn't get if your items were approved or not. I don't know if they...
I don't know. They moved on.
Did they even table it? I didn't...
No, they just moved on.
That's kind of what I was wondering, because I was all like, wait a minute, they didn't approve anything.
They didn't approve anything.
No, boy, they didn't.
They approved the change order, I think, but they didn't approve.
But they didn't approve nor table nor nothing. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay, then I just wanted to go ahead and get your thoughts and clarify whether they approved something or not.
No, they didn't.
I said, go ask them.
Yeah, we could ask them.
Ms. Carlos Red? Yeah. That's review again. So, this being live streamed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write an article.
Yeah, I mean, but again, you know, we've always we're just trying to provide a service to a community that needs it. I mean, you know it, we know it, everybody knows it. You know, so I always say, you know, let me do what I do well, but you got to give me the resources to do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I can't personally put out, you know, $500,000 where the district should be the one putting out the money to give the services. Right? You can't build a hospital, you can't build a hospital, but you can build a building and you can put oxygen in it so that your patients who need oxygen can get oxygen. If you want the CT scanner, which we need, then they should provide the CT scanner to the community so that they don't have to go to 9 years or Central to get a CT scanner. You know, it makes no sense. You know, so don't put the doctor under a microscope to do that, because that's not even going to be my service. That's going to be a radiology service, right? I'm not a radiologist, so those services, which I've already worked out, will be provided by the radiologist out of Pioneers, right? So they'll be the ones. We'll train the CT. They're going to train the CT tech. They'll work out of our building, and they just go to the hospital and they read them. So that's not even my practice. Bringing in an outside practice to provide the service, but if we
don't do it here, then you're just gonna have to go to Pioneers to get it done. Well, that doesn't make sense. The taxpayers pay money, right? You guys, they have a budget. Well, provide the services here. You don't need a hospital to do that. You can put it in the urgent care. So that's why they built the CT room. I don't know who they expected to pay for the CT scanner. You know, you're building the room, but think you're gonna have to put a CT scanner in there. Well, who do you expect to pay for that? You expect me to pay for that? I don't build the CTs. I'm not the guy who can build a CT scan. I can't read them, right? That's a radiology group. So you want me to come out of pocket to provide a service that's going to be billed by somebody else who says if we don't do the CT scanner, they're not going to do it, and they can just go to Pioneers, right? So those are the things when non-medical personnel are making decisions on things. Those are the things that come up that only us providers and we know that. Right? I think, there might be a misconception, oh, well, he's going to have a CT scan, he's going to bill for it. No, I don't bill that. That's not mine. That's just like they're putting a pharmacy. I'm not running the pharmacy. I'm not getting paid for the pharmacy, but we're putting a pharmacy there so you can get your treatment the same time of your visit. Wow, imagine that. Not have to go all the way down the street or wait to CVS and see who gets faxed here and this didn't work out. Can you change this medication? Right? How many times you've gone to the pharmacy? Oh, the doctor didn't send it yet. No, we sent it. It's just in your queue. You just haven't got to it yet. Right? So we're going to provide a pharmacy. We're going to provide CT services. We're going to provide oxygen. We're going to provide observation. Right? But I can't do that alone. And I can't be responsible for I can't be the only one responsible to provide that. Right? We're willing to work with whoever wants to run a pharmacy, which we have a pharmacist. Here, but the district should be the one buying the equipment to provide the service. Then we'll maintain it, we'll upkeep it, and we can pay for those things. But I wouldn't ask, El Centro Regional is not going to ask a surgeon to buy the surgery equipment to do surgery. Right? It makes no sense. Well, but you're the surgeon, you're going to bill for the surgery. Yeah, but you, hospital, need to buy the surgical equipment. That's not the surgeon's responsibility. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to have staff and training, and we're going to buy the beds, and we're going to do all the things that we got the grant for. Yes, to buy beds, to buy computers. We just spent $20,000 in video camera equipment, so they can.
What's the grant that you got?
We got a grant for $450,000. Okay, and we bought.
What was this?
This was 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But we bought the X-ray machine for $100,000. We bought over $150,000 worth of equipment. We have another $20,000 to $30,000 in computers. We did upgrade for the cameras to be able to monitor the facility. We spent money on the recruitment of Dr. Verduzco, a physician, to be the physician with myself over there, so we would have a physician urgent care. And we still have some money left over that we're going to be buying some of the other stuff that's going to be needed once we get in there, chairs and copy machines and all this other stuff, right? But the CT scan itself is $450,000, right? So grant money gone, who's going to pay for this, right? And that's where we're having the tug of war. If I can bill for it, if I was a radiologist and I decided, you know what, I want to have an outpatient radiology center like Imperial Radiology, well, that would be a whole different story, because it'd be my building, my machines, I bill for it, and it's private, and I can tell, Joe on the corner that doesn't have insurance, well, no, you're not going to be seen here. Okay, that's not what we do. We're going to provide the service regardless. And we're going to provide the service to Calexico regardless. And I will tell you this, and if your listeners are listening, we're the only urgent care that takes every insurance out here, including Medi-Cal, SIMPSA, MediXL, okay? All of the medical groups. So it doesn't matter what medical group you belong to. We take those because we don't compete with medical groups. I'm not primary care, we're urgent care. We have VA contract. We're the only one that has a VA contract. You can see TRICARE, VA patients, families of military that come out here. we'll do charity care. So you don't have to worry about even that if you don't have money. You know, we do charge self-pay rates. If you can pay it, great. If you can't, fill out an application and we have charity care. So it's not just one group trying to get bigger. It's just us trying to provide a service. And that's the big thing I want to express to the community. I think sometimes they think we're doing it for personal reasons. If I was doing it for personal reasons, I'd never get involved. Okay, I would have never gotten involved here. You know, we have an urgent care in El Centro. We have one in Broadway. I didn't need this, but the community needed this. They came to us, not the other way around. You know, and when we provided the RFP to say this is what we do, that's when they said, you know what, you're the perfect group for this. And we do believe that. And we want to be the perfect group, and we want to be able to provide, all of our, employees and all of our providers, we all speak Spanish. You know, so it's well deserved of the community. They need the services. We've been trying as best we can to get this thing open, but unfortunately, we don't control the construction. We could give me the keys, we could take occupancy, and we can even do things as tenant reimbursement at that point. But until I get occupancy, until I get my lease, basically in effect, we're kind of hands off. And it's just, I would do this, I would do that. It's more of a consultant. Well, this is what we should do, but to state that, you can run a CT scanner through a hallway. Nobody ever said that. If you've ever seen a CT scan machine, they're big machines. There's no way to get that through a hallway. We knew there was a back door. The back door is there. That's where they're going to bring things in. So a lot of things are transpiring. I would ask the community to be a little bit patient. Our goal is to try to open September 1st. Kind of what I'm hearing is it may be mid-September because I need 6 weeks.
Okay.
I need 6 weeks. So, if they can finish everything up and give me, occupancy by the end of July, that gives me August to prepare for everything, and then a couple of weeks in with the staff so they can figure out and get things organized, and then we'll be ready to go.
All right. Dr. Tyson, thank you for
Sorry
your
it was
time.
a long time, but
That's all right. I appreciate that, and I'll get in contact with you if I have any further questions.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get my,
That no longer exists. Are you proactively taking any steps to ask that that portion of taxes that we pay come back to Flexible?
What? Mr. You said on that board, your Valley Mountain District Board, you're representing Flex.
Yeah, that's kind of a conflict.
That's your job.
But he knows what you're representing Flexible.
We know that the taxes are, Mr. Rivera, correct me if I'm wrong, we know that the taxes are all gonna go to IHB.
By who's?
I pay people.
We'll discuss it, but right now we're engaged in a conversation that's beyond.
Okay, let's tie it back to town hall. Will we discuss that during town hall?
If we have it. If we have it.
You can ask your questions there.
If
That's
there-
why, that's what, excuse me, they're not gonna exist then.
Right.
It doesn't matter if we exist, IDHD is gonna go ahead and is gonna go ahead and have
Mr. Valdez representing Flex.
Okay.
That's his job.
Excuse me, there's a lady here, she's watching.
She's asking great questions too.
She is. So that,
Right, but what I want to know, for example, IDHD probably does not have as much of an interest of recouping the money that Heffernan has spent, that Heffernan has, because AB 19 says you, Heffernan, must spend that money for IDHD. Fine, that's a mandated cost. How do we get that back? Calexico's paid for that. How do we get that back to us?
As far as I understand, AB 918 calls for every asset, every monies that Heffernan has goes to IDHD.
Right, but,
That's the law.
sure, but while you still exist, Heffernan, AB 918 says that you're spending all that money for Heffernan right now for, I know, the millions of lawsuits and the startup costs that they have now. And you're also looking at grants for the, I'm assuming, benefit of Plexico. So we're giving money, for example, maybe finishing Tyson's clinic or whatever project we're doing for Plexico. Why are we not trying to recoup that money in the meanwhile to benefit Plexico before it goes all to IDH?
In what- in what- in what
918
way-
was done,
in what
918
way is
was
gonna
done,
benefit
go ahead,
Calexico?
Mr. Valdez, you can speak.
In what way is gonna benefit Calexico?
We get our money back and then you get to spend it on Plexico. On the state.
Can I say something? In what way is gonna benefit Calexico?
Fight for us, please.
If one of the grants, you know, if at least we can fund one of the grants that even though afterwards it's solved, is gonna keep alive a program for 1 year, 2 years, you know, that will assist the citizens of Calexico in any way recreational or, healthcare wise, you know, while we're deserved, at least that money stays allocated for 1 or 2 years.
I think you know, right now, we're talking about the AV, the town hall meeting, and I think we're getting out of order. Those questions that you all have can be answered at the town hall meeting. We'll go to the IVHD board, and they, you know, we are following what AB 9118 requires of us.
That is correct.
That's not, yeah.
You are correct. However, Mr. Valdez represents Calexico, so he should be advocating for that.
Is that your job?
No, he's not. You're representing, you have the, we have the wrong person.
But let's just quit.
You know what, let's just, we're out of order, we need to.
I am within the law, so that's fine.
Right, I'm not asking anyone to go against AB 19, just that you have the right in AB 19 to recoup costs.
Excuse me.
The item is the town hall meeting
There's
period.
we're on the town hall meeting, that's the schedule for the time, we know it's gonna be August the 27th, and we need to move on.
Okay.
We're just frustrated with the attitude, Chair. That's what it is. We're here as citizens. We don't deserve that. Because it's the same here and it's the same when he's over there.
You have the right to your opinion, and I respect it.
And he has the responsibility to be respectful.
There's somebody here who wants to.
Professional.
So
Professional.
So we already secured the dates, right, Mr. Pimentel?
Yes.
So we secured the dates for the 27th and the 29th. So if this work gets dissolved by this month, can we send directions to the IDHD to continue the town hall meeting? They're gonna take over, all right?
Okay, moving on.
For item
F, discussion on.
But we need to
Okay,
vote, no?
No, we don't need to vote, it's just information.
We don't need to vote
He's saying August 27th, we don't need to go. Hopefully August 27th does follow through.
Yes, so I'm gonna request this item F can be removed from the agenda. Due to the timing frame, I don't think that program, has the time or the flexibility, to take any further. Not like a CPR program. The CPR program, we have progress as to the, adopt a grandparent. We have really, has been in the agenda, but we have really not done a lot. So I think at this point, we don't have much, you know, to continue. We don't have, the means, right?
The thing is that, just because we're going to be dissolved, doesn't mean that IDHD can't continue with the grants.
I understand,
If you fully believe in this and want this, let's just, table it, and meanwhile, if we need to meet to go see, to set it up, if it's gonna be 3 or 4 months before this is done with, the program can continue. Don't give up that easy.
I'm not giving up. I'm just saying, you know, like, I mean, we can remove it. I mean, we don't have anything right now prepared to. We can table it in order to further discuss and start making action. Because literally, this item has been on the table for like 2-3 months, and we have really like done no progress. You know,
Because we haven't been meeting, because
We
the
have
committee,
meetings.
the committee has not
But
met.
although, you know, next item G, we are more prepared, we have already proposed the amount so that we can move forward. So if we can table item F, that way we can
You
start
wanna make
making
that
that.
into a motion?
Yeah, I mean.
I have a question, Ms. Sanchez, on that. I thought any programs that we have, Heffernan, were gonna be grandfathered in to the new district and they were gonna respect that. Is that my understanding?
That was my question.
I don't.
I understood that.
Mr. Valdez, representing Calexico on the IV Rural Healthcare District, can roll those over there
That's
to the
true.
new board.
What you said is true.
Yes. there you
Yeah,
go.
they
There's a
could be
solution.
grandfathered in, that's my
I don't know why
understanding.
people don't understand that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Everything
what I was
that
trying
we're
to
doing
tell.
right now,
That's
if we
logical.
give grants or whatever
It's
we
logical.
give.
But any contract in the city of California would.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, it's not like it's logical, people don't understand, so we're making a clarification.
Okay, so then we're gonna go,
Wow.
there's a motion on the floor by Ms. Sanchez to table item F. Is there a second?
Alex, second.
Second by Mr. Valdez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moving on to,
Can I ask a question real quick?
we've already voted on this? or-
No. It's about item 3, Dr. Tyson's consideration. Did you guys approve the consideration?
No, we didn't.
Okay, I just wanted to know what happened there.
Well, I'm
You
sorry.
guys, you guys just moved on?
You're recording, you should have been able to pick it up.
Well, I know,
Asking a
but
question,
I'm just asking.
answer.
Yeah.
Please,
Well, I'm
please.
saying,
Please, I'm not.
I mean, I was just wondering.
I'm telling them that
I understand, but you don't give opportunity to the people.
That was 3 items.
I know, but
Because the building's not ready.
okay. No, didn't approve it. The consideration. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I have it recorded too, but I wanted to answer no. I mean,
you can always ask requests for the minutes when they're done.
Okay,
And it will
okay.
say there that.
okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on, what do you wanna do with the CPR, the Sanchez?
The CPR class, so I have allocated the proposal amount, it's already for, giving CPR classes for 100 citizens. The certification includes, for adult and children, infant, also, choking, and also the AED. And under special circumstances, we did quote a building in order to have that CPR class, which I think the cost was $200. In the neighborhood house?
And it's the neighbor.
Yeah, the neighborhood house. So on top of the proposal amount that I had given for the cost of the 100 citizens to get certified, it would just be on top of the $200 for, to get the location. And if this gets approved, we can start putting it in the page and get a date settled maybe for August. So that way, citizens can start signing up and get the certification.
I just wanna tell you one thing, Ms. Sanchez, that we are, as, for Heffernan, with the city, we're allowed to use any of to use the Durazo building, the community center, once a year, and we don't get charged for it.
Okay, so
So you wouldn't have to go to neighborhood house,
Okay.
we could get it free. Once you find out what the dates are, you go into the office and request for a.
So the class, because it is, and I just made it for 100, the proposal for 100 citizens. But although, obviously we have the great feedback from our citizens that wanted to join, this class, and we have more citizens, more than 100 citizens that signed up, we can open the possibility of extending the number of 100.
Just don't put 100, don't put anything.
Well, it's because the class has to be entitled and broken down into 2. So 50 and 50, so that way the instructor can give the best of the class to the people that are there. So the proposal was made, and I think this will benefit, because of the circumstances that have passed recently, in one of the high schools. I think it'll be necessary, and I think it's good to have not only adults, but also like high school students, prepared and be certified just in case of an emergency.
Do we have the total cost for this program?
The total cost of this program for 100 citizens is $4,500. So the cost is $45 per person. They do get the certifications through the American Heart Association. They do get their certification within 1 to 2 business days, and they get it emailed. They get their certification card emailed.
Okay? Can,
Does
this open for?
This is open, it can be for adults and high school students. There's no age limit, well, I think, well, in infants, no. But it can, high school students can, sign up, adults can sign up. The class consists of adult, child, infant CPR, as well as a choking, and then as well as a, automated external defibrillator. Yes, which I know some of the firefighters, may also be eligible or interest, in the certification, since they do have some AMPs.
Aren't they
Okay, so
certified
that-
already?
What was that?
Aren't they certified already?
They do, but the certification expires every 2 years.
Right,
Yeah,
especially.
so, the class consists, even if, for any citizens that, CPR class is about to expire, or that wants to get, certified, it will assist. Some people, have to look outside and pay on their own to get the certification, but if we can provide it for them, that way, we can have our citizens prepared right now. Yes.
Can we recommend that we fill it with public first, and if there's spaces available, you add the other ones, because what you wanna do, the department's already training. You bring up a great point. So if there's seats pending, we could open them up. Like you could do a second session in case you get more than 100 people.
Yeah,
So you definitely wanna
that's
train
what I had
more
mentioned.
public, more high school kids, because they're the ones that are gonna find out on the floor. And you open up to them, and then if you have any seats available, we should have a mechanism to let everybody know, look, we have space for 20 people, nobody showed up, what do we do then? And then maybe you do it.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's means here, we can start promoting it already. Seed Project is here, so they can also promote, and even though, yes, we are result, we can still do something for our community, and this is still something that our community can benefit from.
Okay, so then, do I have a motion to go ahead and approve the CPR program with the amount of $4,500?
We'll make a motion to approve the program.
There's a motion by Mr. Valdez, second,
I'll second the motion.
second by Morales. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried.
I'll text the, instructor tomorrow morning, and then I'll get you the tentative date, so that way we can start, promoting the due dates and get the facility as to where it's going to be.
Yeah, that's to get the pavilion,
Once
it's
you
not
have
probably a process.
So-
Once you fill out the application for the city of Calexico, because we've done it before, it will go through the city council, so that's why you need to do that, once you have the dates.
Yeah, I
As soon as
can
possible.
get the date today, so I can, get it over.
And then you can go and
The
just
dates.
pick up the application, or you want to send Tony to go pick it up for you, or do you want to do it?
We can pick up the application tomorrow.
Okay.
Or check if they could email it to you.
Um,
Could be a,
Sure,
could be a